It's Anson Palmer's fourth winter living on Edmonton streets. With temperatures dropping, he and his fiancée are bracing for things to get tough.
Fight last year, so it gets cold for some of us that have already gotten frostbite. So, and it's a hard thing to do, but some of us like to be out here better than in shelters or something like that.
The couple has set up camp near Southgate in South Edmonton. We met him while he was checking in on a friend set up on Gateway Boulevard. Most of Edmonton's social agencies and homeless shelters are downtown. So why are many people setting up camp further and further out?
The uncleanliness. The places are filthy.
Bed bugs and cockroaches and people stealing shoes off my feet.
It's quieter. Not a lot of stuff goes missing or anything else like that.
The future of Edmonton's encampments has regularly been making headlines.
People united will never be defeated!
With advocates who say removing makeshift shelters is unconstitutional, challenging the city and police, who say street gangs have infiltrated some of the camps.
Not only do they victimize, people within the encampments, the crime that's occurring on the street, the drug dealing, is they turn on themselves quite quickly. So they're extremely ruthless, and I can say what they lack in sophistication, they make up for in violence.
A University of Alberta criminologist who's been doing field work with Edmonton's homeless population says some people are avoiding the core because of gang activity.
One person put it really succinctly, said, "I'd rather be here and hungry but safe than well-fed downtown but be potentially attacked."
Urbanik says she's heard from local street gang members that there's been a collapse in group leadership. She says the street code, rules that protect the vulnerable people living on the streets, has eroded. But in West Edmonton, people living rough say gang activity isn't the only reason to steer clear of downtown.
The gangs keep their stuff on the DL where it belongs. From a pure business perspective, they don't appear to be at war, but of course they are. And when I'm in a more populous area, what I find to be the biggest danger is just uncleanliness.
Warren says he's been spending a lot of time at this new warming center on Stony Plain Road. It's open in afternoons and evenings. He heads back outside to sleep, usually alone, somewhere out of sight.
Because that's the one thing I can count on myself being able to do, is find a place where the cops won't catch me loitering or dangerous or annoying somebody.
As the homeless population grows, the camps are getting more attention.
Some people are choosing to have their camp a bit more visible, just so that, if there is a fire or if someone is coming and, going through their camp or something, that it's visible and maybe there's people around to help. But it does, of course, also increase the chance that their camp will be reported and they'll have enforcement come out.
The number of people sleeping rough in West Edmonton has also been on the rise.
And truly, I'm hearing about it from people in almost every community I represent, which is something I'd never experienced in my 10 years on council.
Knack says more housing is the only solution. In the interim, he wants to see the province address concerns about the conditions in shelters.
You could do that within a few short years. And in the meantime, you can make sure that the shelters are operating at better standards so that you're not putting somebody in a position where they feel like, I'm debating between being warm and safe.
CBC News requested a copy of the province's shelter standards. The province did not provide a copy and instead sent a statement saying shelter standards were updated last year to include more cultural and spiritual supports, increasing the focus on connections to housing, employment, and income supports, and ensuring shelters can provide a trauma-informed space for all clients. For those still choosing to avoid shelters, focus has turned to surviving in the cold. Palmer says he and his fiancée try to scrape by, shoveling snow for donations and picking bottles.
We're not out here creating trouble. We're out here just living just like everybody else. We just, we do things differently, and we're just trying to get by like everybody else.
Paige Parsons, CBC News, Edmonton.